Oh, we started. Okay. I guess the game is beginning. Welcome to new player PvP. We have an entirely different cast of characters this time. Caius versus MTaur. These players are both new to PvP. So the commentary will be a little bit more about hyping them up and a little less critical. But the games are going to be 10 times more fun because absolutely anything can happen, as we saw last time. Alright, we have a comment in chat. These maps with split barracks are very confusing for me. Yeah, they take a little bit of getting used to. I find that it helps me to think of it like almost two separate battlefields. Like, imagine you cut the map in half like this. Like this. Look at what I'm doing with my cursor. Because it's really hard to move through these mountains, these forests, and this water terrain. So it sort of divides the map in half. And then you sort of think of it like, okay, this is one half of the map. This is the other half of the map. And we're playing on both at the same time. And that makes it just a little bit easier to keep track of what's happening. Alright. We see Lytra very low on health, but bravely going out to capture some villages. Caius is moving this little mouse, trying to grab this as much as possible. They knock down the sea village. Very nice. Very nice. It seems like both players are going for very, very similar-ish openings, but one big difference is their commanders. Take a look at this. The twins are actually going to the center, right? They're going around to the center. But Lytra is not going around to the center. Lytra is going around the side. So they're moving their commanders in different ways. You can actually do both. I kind of like the side one myself, but I think MTaur might have some better heals going through the center. We'll see what happens. Alright, we see a dog coming out from MTaur. Technically a pig, because it's the pirate version of the dog. I like how it says dog, even though that's clearly a picture of a pig. Chucklefish. This is Wargroove logic right here. Dog. Oink. It's so cute. I love the new dogs. The new dogs are some of my favorite units, because they're pigs and bugs. They're pigs and beetles. The new dogs are pigs and beetles. Alright, both players are massing these dogs, it looks like. No, MTaur. MTaur, actually. MTaur is building a bunch of dogs, but it seems like Caius is just building the adorable mice soldiers. Alright. This is critical. Will Caius remember to use their lumber mill and redeem all of these forests? Will Caius remember to use their lumber mill and redeem all of these forests? We'll see. Yes, they did! Awesome! Alright. That'll give Caius a ton of gold. Like a burst of gold. And they'll be able to use that to build some nice units. Very nice. By the way, this is the same map that Zestin and I played on during the show match for Wargroove 2, the big release event. If you want to see that game, I'm pretty sure you could find it on the Groove of Wars YouTube channel. Wow, and Caius grabs the first center village, positioning their soldier to grab this village too. Caius has a really solid position here. It looks like they're going to grab a bunch of villages. They're going to get this one too. I think Caius might be a little bit ahead on villages. But MTaur has been building more aggressive units like dogs, and they might be in a better position to attack. Alright, now we're going to see if Caius does a big build this turn. I wonder what they're going to make. A golem? A dragon? Double knight? A kraken? There's so many things we could see. Alright, Lytra captures this village. So far, Lytra has chosen not to heal. They're keeping their commander very vulnerable. It's a little bit scary. That's a little bit scary. Who knows if their commander is going to be safe? You know, if you lose your commander, you lose the game. And the commander being healed lets you attack stuff. So Lytra's going to slow down a little bit now that they're out of villages to capture until they heal. Alright, Caius has grabbed a bunch of villages this turn. We see them just, look at this. Suddenly their economy is 1,000 to 700. And they own almost every village on the map that can be owned now. This is going to give them an advantage in economy for several turns. I think they had a really good opening here. I think they out-opened their opponent just a little bit, just a tiny bit. And it's going to give them a bit of an advantage. They're still building swords! They're still building cheap units. And dogs. They're still not spending all of that gold. Wow! They're really saving for something. They're saving for something. I wonder what it's gonna be. I'm excited to see what this is. If we don't see it this turn, it'll probably happen next turn. Like, are they gonna build out of the tower, or are they still saving? I'm not sure. This is exciting. This is exciting. But MTaur has all these dogs. You know, MTaur has the possibility of attacking. We'll see how MTaur deals with this. Alright, they chose to save it. They chose to save it, so they're going to do a really big build in a few turns. Alright, MTaur's moving forward with the mage. They might have predicted that maybe Caius was going for like a big air build, so they built the mage ahead of time to shut it down. Very smart. Very smart. Also, MTaur has a healed commander. Now they're trying to think. Where are they going to go? Oh, they're on the attack now. The dog's moving in. They might be going for their opponent's stronghold. Let's take a look. They still have not captured a lot of tech on the bottom side. We'll see if maybe this sword gets dedicated to the task. Strictly speaking, neither player has really been using their unit converters, so it's okay to skip it if you're not going to use it. Though I like to grab these eventually. Just based on how they've been playing, they haven't been necessary. Actually, you know, this is something that even pro players do, where if you're not going to use a production facility, you can totally skip it. Usually, you'll see players skip hideouts, because some maps thieves just aren't very good. So you'll see the players just skip the hideout. Alright, they're grabbing it. They're grabbing it. It looks like they might want to use this later, so they've decided to pick it up. I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good choice. You can get a lot of value out of this thing. Maybe make a Kraken. We might see a Kraken come out. Alright, MTaur is thinking about what to do. They just wanted a little bit more money from their lumber mill there. They might be going for a big build this turn. Maybe we might finally see the first knight of the game come out. It's a big advantage to have the first knight of the game. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. Remember, these are newer players. You know, they haven't played a bazillion games on these maps. They're learning some stuff for the first time. It's exciting to see what they'll do. And their build order is really good. Like, just swords into dogs, into knights. They're playing it well. Yup. Great build right there. Great build. Especially with the low health commander. We might see a sneaky knight, possibly get a lethal on Lytra in a few turns, because Lytra didn't heal. We could see that knight be a menace. And sorry, I almost said MVAC-M. MTaur. MTaur securing the forest here. Getting a really solid position so they can't be attacked. Good use of the terrain. Our Caius has 1 billion gold. It's time. It's time. What are they going to build? They got to build something. They have so much gold. So much gold. Alright, let me know in chat what you think they're going to make. What do you think they're going to build? Well, what's your best guess? Oh, wow. This soldier might be trying to steal this village. Alright, Ninja Tank thinks a dragon is coming out. I don't know, though, because there is a mage on the field already. Does anybody else have any guesses? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Could be anything. I like the dogs. I like the dogs. Building dogs early is very good in Wargroove, too. In Wargroove 1, dogs were a little, like, iffy. Maybe, like, sometimes you build them, sometimes you don't. Alright, Caius did decide to attack here. But, because of the forest style, this sword really didn't take that much damage. Notice that the health of the swords is very close, even though this one attacked this one. And that's the use of the forest style right there. Good use of the terrain. Good bait by MTaur. Really good bait. Now this dog can come in and finish off this sword, and then MTaur will have won this fight. Although, it is being backed up by this dog and Lytra, so maybe not. Maybe Caius is thinking several turns ahead. Possibly. Alright, Caius is trying to be a little bit aggressive now. We've exited the early game, and we're starting to get into the fighting phase of this game. I still don't know what Caius is going to build. This is a tough one. How much does having animations on eat up your turn timer? Animations actually pauses the timer, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think animations pauses the timer. So actually, if you want more time to think, you can turn on animations. It's pretty funny. As far as I know, no one actually does that, but it was something that I realized when we started playing with timers. Wow, Cassius decided not to go for a big build. They're just doing more small builds. We see a pike, we see a flamingo rider. Oh, and the converter goes for a kraken. They did build a kraken. Hype for kraken. Let's go, we got a kraken. And meanwhile, the Fari kraken is like this sea mech thing. Wow. Flamingo kraken was not even on my list. Like, that wasn't even one of the guesses I had. If you asked me to make 10 guesses, I would not have said they were saving up for Flamingo Kraken. That's awesome. Why are Krakens hype? Because they're fun. Because they're just fun. And they're really cool units, too. So the Kraken, it does a ton of damage. It's got a little bit of range. It attacks from the sea. It can go on rivers. And it has a paralyze ability. It can shoot out a tentacle and grapple a unit, stunning it. Krakens are hype. Alright, we see the dog went in, and it did take out that soldier. And then MTaur healed their sword. Pro move right there. We were talking about this before. You always want to heal your swords after a battle. Keep them fighting ready. Really, really great. I kind of like this sneaky beach path here. It doesn't look like it, but you can actually just walk over the water here. So this dog could actually go over here if it wanted to. That's kind of cool. Alright, MTaur secures this village. So every village has been captured. But Cassius has captured one more village than MTaur, giving them a 200 gold lead. So MTaur has really got to be on the aggressive here. They have to attack. They have to be on the offensive. I hope I'm not ruining your YouTube commentary. Not at all. Not at all. Wow! What just happened? The knight turned into a warship! The knight just transformed into a warship! Like, I'm just imagining the horses just like some kind of transformation sequence, and then suddenly they're a ship, and then all the soldiers that were riding them get on the warship and start firing cannons. Someone should make an animation of that. Can someone please make an animation of that? That's amazing. What? Look at that. Now, the warship is going to be a little bit limited because it cannot go onto rivers. So it means the warship will be limited to this kind of cove area over here and this cove area over here. It can also use the converter and change back into something else. This isn't even my final form. Yeah. That's hilarious. Wow, the twins are front switching! The twins are front switching! MTaur decided to just leave this part of the map and go over here. This is the earliest front switch I've ever seen on this map. This went from slow sword movements to all of a sudden I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I love this game! What's happening? We got a Kraken over here, but they just decided to fight over here now. And we got an archer coming out. Wow, big attack. MTaur is going to attack Lytra, it looks like. MTaur is going to forget about the stronghold and attack Lytra. Let's go. Alright, Lytra's got a decision to make. If Cassius goes in on this dog, then they will be accepting the gauntlet that MTaur threw down. If they attack this dog, they are accepting the challenge. They are willing to fight over here. But if not, Lytra's gotta run away or go somewhere else. We see the flamingo running down. Is like, alright, we're fighting over there? Just give me a few turns. I can fly, sort of. And it's trying to get there as best as it can. The flamingo thought it was going this way, but now it realized the fight is happening over here and it's changing direction. Meanwhile, this sword is all the way in enemy territory without backup. It doesn't know what to do. Wow, the Kraken is coming over. Unlike the warship, the Kraken does have the ability to go into rivers. Lytra takes down another village right in this dog's face. Like, I don't care if there's a dog right next to me. Boom, I hit it with my dog. Really good use of this forest tile, though. It keeps the damage pretty similar. But wow, Cassius has accepted the gauntlet that MTaur threw down. Cassius is like, you want to fight commander to commander? Bring it. I've got Groove. I've got more villages. Let's fight. I'm going to bring in my Kraken. And they're spamming pikes. Cassius is pike spamming. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on anymore. This is amazing. We're going to see some fighting now. We're going to see some fighting. The players have committed, and now it is time to brawl. Cassius still has a ton of money. Remember, they have a lot of economy from their opening, so they can afford to build more powerful units. But they continue to build cheap units, and I guess they're just using the tower and the converter a lot. I'm really hyped to see what this Kraken does. Harpy! We see the first air unit of the game come out. Wow, the first air unit of the game. Let's go. This Harpy is gonna fly down the field. There is a mage. There is a mage, but it's gonna be very important that MTaur keeps that mage alive. Otherwise, this Harpy will be invincible. However, the tower is so far away from this fight. MTaur is gonna have a little bit of time to play with this. I wonder, though, if they realize that their warship is not going to be able to get out of this cove. Warships can't go on rivers, so it can't really go any further than this. Alright, it's MTaur's turn. They've thrown down the gauntlet. But there are a lot of bugs here, and by bugs, I mean dogs, because this is Wargroove, and bugs are dogs in Wargroove. That's just how it works. MTaur's thinking. They're probably realizing that their Wargroove is... their warship... This is a Wargroove now. This unit is called the Wargroove. That their warship is not as mobile as they thought it was. They're probably trying to figure out what they do with it. And maybe you're considering converting it back into something else. So the knight transforms into the warship, and then the warship transforms into something, and suddenly I really want to see this anime. I'm gonna commission this. I'm gonna, like, hit up Red Gems and be like, hey, we gotta make this happen. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Right after this stream, I'm gonna hit up Red Gems and be like, hey, you can draw, I can write, let's make a Wargroove anime. Alright. Oh, it did! It did! The warship wasn't even its final form! It converted into a golem! Let's go! We see the new pirate golem, complete with skull head and shielded gauntleted arms. A giant is on the field, and it is gonna run at Lytra and try to kill the opposing commander. MTaur has turned the warship into a golem. This has been a crazy sequence. The knight turned into a warship, and then the warship turned into a golem. Alright, MTaur has still got to figure out what to do with the rest of their units. The archer's moving in. It still can't hit anything yet, but it is getting very, very close to the battle, and it's going to be really useful in this fight. Are the twins going to move forward? You got to be a little careful. Lytra has Groove, and the twins they don't have Groove yet. They're not going to have Groove for a little while. MTaur is thinking about this, because they've got flamingos and harpies coming at them. The clock is ticking. The pressure's on. Alright, MTaur decides to recapture this village. They're already down on enough economy. They don't want to let Cassius take any more of these villages. Oh, and they steal one of Cassius's villages. Oh, they've evened up the economy. MTaur has evened up the economy. They've sneakily just kind of ran in and grabbed this village. Because remember, Lytra didn't heal for a really long time, so the village was low health. They bring in the dog. MTaur is suddenly back in control of this game. The twins are coming in, and they're defending these units. Maybe not this dog, but most of these units, everything's coming in. MTaur is playing to win. Check this out. Oh, wow. MTaur was like losing for the first 6 turns, but all of a sudden, they pulled their Uno reverse card, and now they have a massive army running at the opposing commander. What is Cassius going to do about this? What is Cassius going to do? If Cassius chooses to fight here, they're going to run down this golem. No time to build. Yeah, MTaur ran out of time. They didn't build anything out of their barracks. Maybe they're saving up for next turn. We see the Harpy is actually not going to join this fight. It's actually going to come over here and help Cassius steal another village. Cassius does not want to give up that economic advantage. They want to have more villages than MTaur, and they're willing to use their Harpy to help get it. Ooh, the dog beetle comes in, deals massive damage to that sword. Massive damage. Cassius is like, alright, you want to fight? You want to take back your villages? Let's go. I'm willing to fight. Oh, more damage is coming out. There's so much damage on the field right now. Boom! Using the critical strike to finish off that sword. It would not have been possible without the critical strike, which you get by surrounding a unit with the dog beetles. Great attack. We see these pikes coming in from Cassius. Those are going to be very scary. MTaur really has to win this fight before the pikes arrive. These pikes are just going to dominate anything you throw at them. They're so good, but they're really, really slow. That's their one weakness. Meanwhile, Cassius has a ton of gold, and their massive army is approaching. I mean, if you take a look, Cassius has a lot more army than MTaur does. Oh, by the way, hey, Ellie, I saw your comment. Yeah, absolutely, you can join in the next game, for sure. We're going to have to find someone a little bit more than a little bit less new to fight you, just based on what happened last time, because yeah, you played really, really good for being new to PvP, but absolutely you can play in the next game. Wow, and the knight comes out. All right, Cassius is done with these slow pikes. They're like, all right, I've got my army. I've got my Kraken, I've got my pikes. I've spent a bunch of turns setting this up. Merfolk! Using the unit converter to build a merfolk that's going to run down this river and just dominate the center. Cassius is playing... Oh, and Harpy spam, too. Wow, Cassius is determined to win the center of the map. Like, absolutely everything they've been doing are preparing for this amazing fight. They've got tons more army, tons of value. The clock is ticking for MTaur. MTaur has to win this game quickly, or they're going to lose it, because this is just a massive force coming in from Cassius. What is MTaur going to do? It's very tough, but there's only one solution. MTaur has to kill Lytra. At this stage of the game, MTaur has to go in and take out the opposing commander if they want to win. Hey, Tawny Mado, might I be able to tempt you in joining our next game? Because we need someone who's new, but also has a little bit of experience to fight Ellie, because Ellie is our scariest new player right now. Alright, MTaur is thinking about this. They're thinking about it. They really have to make this turn count. Can they surround Lytra? Can they attack Lytra? Epartane. Oh, we got our Epartane. All right, yeah. Well, if you're willing to give it a try against Ellie, absolutely, for sure. All right, we got 2 players for the next game, and then I think after the next one we'll go into the puzzle campaign. Mage crit! We got a mage crit. It just took out that dog in one shot. Good attack. Good attack. MTaur was thinking about it. They were thinking about it, but they really wanted to do some damage here, and. Oh, wow, using dog crits to surround and damage Lytra. Lytra now only has 5 health. Look at that. Look at that. 49%. MTaur is playing for the win. They're playing for the win. Sword crit! They brought in their commander for the sword crit. This is such a good attack. Oh, and that did so much damage. But Lytra is still alive with 13. Can she get out of this? Can she escape somehow? MTaur is playing for the victory. They brought in their archer. They brought in the golem. They're putting everything into this attack. Cassius has an amazing army. An amazing army. The economy lead. Like 10 more units. Krakens. Harpies. But MTaur is playing for the win. MTaur doesn't care about any of that. They're playing for the win. They've got Lytra surrounded and damaged, and if Lytra cannot heal or escape or do something, MTaur will take the game. This was an incredible attack. Really good use of really cheap units. This was an attack with dogs and swords and clever crit conditions. This was such a good play by MTaur. The fact that they completely abandoned the top side of the map to make this attack. So well done. The Kraken goes in and immediately kills the dog to try to give Lytra some kind of escape path. Some kind of way to run away. That's a life-saving Kraken right there. Life-saving Kraken. Now Cassius is thinking, where are they going to put Lytra? They cannot afford to go down. If they lose Lytra, they lose the entire game. Their position is so strong right now. The dog goes in, massive damage to that sword, big damage to that sword, trying to make it so that even if Lytra can't run away, the swords are too weak to chase her down. The pikes are coming in. The pikes are coming in, and those pikes are going to be invincible. There is almost nothing Cassius can do to those pikes, other than use this amazing Archer Golem and Commander combo to perhaps deal with the pikes. But other than that, nothing. Wow, the dog actually just damages itself to make that sword a little bit weaker. Anything to keep Lytra out of harm's way. Cassius just wants to try to keep Lytra safe. Cassius wants to do everything in their power to keep Lytra safe. But is it enough? Is it enough? I don't even know. The Harpy's coming in. The Harpy attacks this sword. But nothing matters if Lytra can't escape. Cassius is taking their time to think about what to do with Lytra. And they don't want to give their opponent time to think either. They're taking villages all across the map, growing their economy lead, making sure that as long as Lytra escapes, they'll win. But Lytra still kind of has to do the escaping part. Oh, the knight comes in. This huge, powerful, amazing army from Cassius is just baring its teeth, ready to chomp down on MTaur's position. Huge unit lead, growing economic lead, domination all across the map. But will their commander survive? MTaur has sacrificed everything to try to kill the commander. They've given up the economy. They've given up building units. They're just focused on that one thing, and I love it. This is it. Cassius has to make a decision now. Cassius has to decide where this commander is going to go. There's a couple of options. There's this beach tile here, which can only be hit from one side, but it puts the Lytra in very bad defense. There's also this tile here. It's plains, which is a little tankier, but maybe multiple things can hit Lytra. Groove is coming out! Lytra actually uses her groove defensively to put the pike in front to protect her so that she doesn't go down. Brilliant move! That was amazing! Lytra's groove is so versatile. However, I don't know if I should say this out loud, so I won't yet. But instead I'll say it is possible that MTaur might be able to win here. Or maybe not. Maybe there's nothing they can do. MTaur's going in. MTaur's dealing some damage. Will they find a winning continuation here? Will they figure out a way to take out Lytra, despite that amazing move? Can it be done? I actually know the answer, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say if it can or can't, because this is more hype. What's going to happen? The dog actually goes a different direction, attacking a unit. They're delaying the critical decision. Wait, no! I didn't even think of this! They were farming Groove! The reason they were doing all that was to farm Groove, so that they could put down the twins. Oh, they win! MTaur wins the game! I was thinking the mage was gonna kill, but wow! MTaur takes the game with twins Groove! Oh my goodness, that was hype! This is why we love new player PvP. That was so good with style! Let's go! Amazing game! Incredibly played Cassius, incredibly played MTaur. That was the most hype new player PvP we've had yet. Such a good game.